I moved to Sweden in '94 from Somalia. Civil war in Somalia. In Somalia, we didn't have Islam. I mean, we didn't know anything about Islam. And we were just Muslims, like Sweden is a Christian country today. We didn't know anything about mosque. I never met imam, except when somebody dies for a wedding. So I came to '94 in Sweden, dressed a normal, 20-year-old Somali woman, dira, they call dira. We have a very, it's beautiful Somali dress and my jeans on. And I wanted this mosque. My friend took me to a mosque. Then we sit and we talk, and she told me that I have to put on this big, they call it jalabib. So I say, no, I'm not going to put on that. I don't want that. Why? Because nobody asked me in Somalia. Why should I wear now? I said, you have to try. I try and I sit there and I listen. And more I listen to the Quran, and Imam preached and he talked about how we are supposed to be a good Muslim, because we are not good Muslim. Back home in Somalia, we are Kafirs. So we have to be a good Muslim. I was very, very scared when he read from the Quran and says that you should not be friends with the Swedish people, with the Kafirs. He didn't say Swedish people, he said Kafirs. Because be careful, you can go to their school, you can learn from them, but you should not be friends with them, because they will change you. You will be one of them. So be careful. I was very, very sad and upset to hear that, because in Somalia, we have minority Christians, we have a Catholic church and a mosque next to each other in Mogadishu. If you Google all the picture in Somalia, you can see that. And we have a Hindu. I never heard of that I should hate them or not be friends with them. I was very upset and said, no, I don't want. I mean, every time I went there, I could hear that you stay away from the Swedish society. So I was asking myself, what are we doing here? Why are we here in Sweden? Why can't we move to Saudi Arabia? There they have a Quran and they have Sharia. We can live there. So I've been kicked out from the mosque and from my Swedish society, from my Somali society. So I went into Swedish, marry a Swedish man and have children with a Swedish man. And since then, I've been telling the Swedish authority, police, that we are going to have a war here. Because in the mosque, that's what they tell children. You should hate the kafir. You should make, I mean, he used to tell girls that you have to get married and have a minimum 5, 10 children. In that way, you will be a minority of Sweden. And bring so many relatives that you can. Because in the future, your children will rule this country. And every church here will be a mosque in the future. So everyone believes that Sweden will be their own country. Because that's what Allah said. That's what Allah said. Everyone has to be Muslim, or we just want to kill you. And I say, that's not fair. Why? Why are we, I mean, these nice Swedish people, they let me stay here in Sweden. They're nice people. Because Allah hates them and you should hate them too. That's the answer I get from the Imam. And I've been trying to get contact with the Swedish media to write about it, and this is what they're doing. They're brainwashing children. They're brainwashing to hate everyone and kill everyone who does not accept Islam as a religion. And said, no, this is not true. It's some fundamentalist Imam, and not every Muslim, because Islam is a religion of peace. And I make copy from the Quran and from the Hadith and give to Swedish media. I wrote to Swedish television and tell what I saw in mosque. And in Gothenburg we have 10 different mosques. I say every mosque they teach this. This is what they teach. Oh no, it's extremist. Don't listen to them. Not every Muslim. And I've been talking to Swedish church. Some of them, they don't let me in today to talk and just to tell them what's going on. This is what's going on behind your backyard. This is what they teach children. You will be, I mean, in 10 years, it's game over. You need to meet this imam and talk to them. Ask them what's going on. And tell them no, because in Sweden we have a democracy. That's why I choose to live in Sweden. Human rights. But in Sharia, we don't have that. So we just have to invite them into democracy and teach them how to live in peace, instead of letting them teach children and brainwash young girls and children that you should die for Allah, for example. Because there are many young boys who die in Al-Shabaab, in Mogadishu, for Al-Shabaab now. And in Syria, even women today are going to die for Allah. So in Sweden, if you speak as a Swedish man or Swedish woman, you are racist. I mean, you cannot criticize Islam or Muslim or anything. But me, how can I be racist? I'm a black woman from Africa. I'm not racist. I'm just telling you, speak of my experience and what I saw in mosque, and what they tell and what they teach and how they treat other human beings. Other human beings, they are pigs and monkeys in Quran. And this is reality. We have this is reality. There's a place called Hammarkullen. I cannot go there anymore. Because one day I was sitting in, waiting for a train, and this boy came and sat next to me and we talked. And he saw my cross. He said, "Oh, auntie, are you a Christian? You are going to hell. God's going to burn you in hell." I said, "Why?" "Yeah, because you travel this way and put some clothes on." He's 12 years old. Put some clothes on, you're naked. And he kept talking, and I said, "All this church will be mosque." He told you that Imam says that. So I am so afraid for Sweden. And in Sweden, we say that we have a democracy and freedom of speech. We don't have. Because if you talk to Sweden, I talk to many Sweden journalists and write about it and send them article about what's going on. They don't publish. Just they take big duct tape and put it in your mouth. They don't talk. They don't write. And even when I was interviewed by the Swedish television channel 1, she cut half of my interview. I just told her what I'm telling you now, that what they do in mosque, but she just let me say that they threaten to kill me, and they say I know where you live, and so on. So in Sweden, you can never talk about Islam. You can never talk about Muslim. It's a big problem.
Do you think, Mona, that is because they are afraid of being called racist, Islamophobe, or they're afraid to get killed? Violence?
Oh, I mean, they're scared. First of all, in Sweden, they're scared to be called racist. Because if you criticize Islam or what Muslims do, you are racist automatically, and then they're scared. Because there's this newspaper who, someone sent them Quran in a bomb a few months ago. They're scared. They're scared to be attacked, and they can't admit that they are scared of Muslim. They're scared, and they tell you that, but not every Muslim. There are more than Muslim. Okay, I know that there are more than Muslim. There are many Somali Muslim, liberal Muslim who want to integrate Swedish society, but they're being stopped and threatened. And really, it's the mosque imam who made the law, Sharia law. Many Muslims today in Sweden, they don't live under democracy. They live under Sharia. They have their own area, and they have their own mosque, and the imam tells them what to do, how to dress, how to behave, who to be friends with, who to be married. They have their own law. So they have nothing to do with Sweden. And they don't know anything about Sweden, even, most of them.
How can we reach out to the Muslim women in Sweden? Do you think there's a possibility that we can tell them about their rights? And
Oh,
Make them come into our democratic society?
No, I don't think so, because I've been telling them since 95, 96 that you have to free yourself from this. But they have to do it themselves, and we just have to tell them, but they don't listen. It's not like one day or 1 year. We just have to tell them, but it's very difficult because they already know what's good and what's bad and what's wrong and what's right. They have it in the Quran, and Allah make that decision for them.
And never listen to the kafir.
Yeah, you do not listen, because in Quran says that you should not respect even the kafirs, they're hypocrites. So that's what they've been told as a child, that you know that you should stay away from the kafir. Do not be friends with them unless that you are afraid and to protect yourself. You know, this is called taqiyya in Islam, that means protection. You should lie, you should laugh with them, but you should hate them in your heart. So I think it's very difficult to come to them and say, oh, you should not wear hijab today, or you should not do this and that. I think they have to understand for themselves and free themselves. They have to be, want to free themselves from that.
And you told me that you have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And you are scared for their future.
Yeah.
In Sweden.
Yeah. Of course I am.
Why are you scared?
Yeah, because in Sweden I don't feel like I live under democracy. I don't feel like I'm scared for them, because I live in Sweden, but in a way under Sharia law in Sweden. Because for me, I'm dressed like this. I cannot go to like some places without someone looking at me and, oh, you are naked. In the future, I'm like, I don't know where do we go? Where do we live? How is going to be my children? I asked this Imam, I bring a Quran and say, this is the Quran, this is a kill everyone. How can my grandchildren in the future here in Sweden and your grandchildren coexist? Do you think we can coexist? Because Islam says no. I have to be Muslim. My daughters have to be Muslim. Or be Muslim or die. That's what